A group of hikers stumbled upon a chilling sight, a peculiar green figure with an uncanny resemblance to a human, slowly ascending a tree. As they watched in disbelief, the creature turned its gaze towards them, and a shiver ran down their spines. Fueled by fear, they quickly dialed 911, realizing they were face to face with something beyond their understanding. The dispatcher's voice crackled through the phone, but what the hikers heard next made their blood run cold, leaving them frozen in the heart of the eerie forest. The operator on the other side of the line, when they called 911, was barely understandable. It was clear that they did not have a good reception so deep in the jungle. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Out of the bushes, the creature suddenly came rushing at them on all fours. The three hikers started to run off without looking back, but also without looking at each other. Only when hiker Noah was finally too out of breath to keep running did he look around and discover that he was all alone. He did not see the creature, but he also did not see any of his friends. Noah had to think out his next move very carefully. He checked his phone, but he did not have any messages from his friends. He was trapped here with no idea which way to go. He debated just staying in one place, but knew that if he was going to have to spend the night here, then he needed some shelter. And so, without feeling like he had much of a choice, Noah just chose a direction and started walking. And after almost 2 hours of walking, Noah finally encountered something that made his eyes light. It had already gotten completely dark, and Noah was using his flashlight to guide him the way. Noah could not believe his luck. He first thought it might be a mirage or something. He felt the doorknob, but as he could have expected, the door was locked. Noah doubted how he could best get in. There was clearly nobody inside. He could kick the door in, but then he would not be able to lock it again and protect himself from the outside. But as Noah was thinking of his options, he suddenly started hearing sounds in the distance. Movement. Leaves rustling. Something was getting closer. Noah tried not to panic. Kicking the door and seemed like his only option. But then he saw some strange stone beside the door. He quickly tried to turn it around, and bingo, there was a key below the rock. With his hands shaking and the sounds behind him coming ever closer, Noah managed to put the key into the lock and open the door. He went in and closed the door behind him again as quickly as humanly possible. Finally, he felt a little bit safe again. But this feeling of peace was only very short-lived. Only about a minute later, he heard a beating on the door. Noah was holding his breath. His instinct told him not to open the door under any circumstances. But then he suddenly heard a voice. A very scared voice, but one that Noah immediately recognized. It was the voice of Matt, of his friends who he was hiking with. Matt was screaming to be let in. There was something coming after him, and he had nowhere else to go. Noah took a deep breath and opened up the door for him. Matt almost fell into the small cabin, and Noah immediately closed the door behind. Matt looked up and looked surprised to see Noah. Noah immediately started asking Matt a million questions, mainly about where the hell Joshua was, their third hiking companion. Matt was able to tell him that he and Joshua had been running together for a while. The creature had come after them both, and with no other choice, they decided to split up, and the creature went after him. In the dim light of the cabin, Noah and Matt, hearts pounding with a mix of dread and determination, agree they can't leave Joshua alone in the wilderness. Scouring the cabin, they hastily assemble a makeshift kit, a flashlight with dwindling batteries, a frayed map of the area, and a sturdy rope that lay forgotten in a corner. As they step into the night's embrace, the forest around them seems to inhale, a silent observer to their trepidation. In a clearing, they spot Joshua, perched high in an old tree, his body trembling like a leaf in the wind. Huddled together, they plot their return to the relative safety of the hut. We need to avoid the paths, Noah suggests, his voice low. It might be watching. As with each cautious step through the dark labyrinth of trees, the men are acutely aware of the symphony of nocturnal sounds around. The hut emerges from the darkness like a beacon of hope, its familiar walls offering a promise of temporary safety. The gravity of their situation is palpable, as tired eyes remain vigilantly fixed on the small windows, piercing the darkness for any sign of movement. As hours crawl by, the strain of their ordeal tightens its grip. Huddled together in the dim light, they begin to whisper theories about the creature. Is it guarding something? Or someone? Matt muses, his voice laced with fear. In a moment of resolute courage, Noah outlines a bold strategy to confront the creature. If we can't outrun it, we'll outsmart it here, he declares, conviction in his voice. Their plan hinges on the element of surprise and their knowledge of the hut's layout, a glimmer of hope in their desperate situation. Quickly they transform the hut into an elaborate trap. Every move is calculated, turning their once peaceful refuge into a battleground. With a collective breath, they brace for what may come, the bond of their friendship their strongest armor. Gathering every ounce of bravery, Noah slowly turns the door handle, the creaking sound echoing like a gunshot in the tense silence. On by the opening, the creature moves towards the hut, its movements cautious yet curious. As it crosses the threshold, the trap springs to life. They grapple with the creature, their efforts synchronized, driven by the singular goal of overpowering their mysterious assailant. Amidst the chaos, a startling realization dawns on them. The creature, its movements, once thought to be predatory, now seem clumsy, less certain. With a final, concerted effort, they pin the creature down, its movements growing weaker under their combined strength. With a collective gulp, they pull it off, unveiling the truth hidden beneath. The mask comes away, revealing not a monster, but the face of a man. Staring back at them is a pair of all too human eyes, filled with surprise and fear. He admits to dressing up as the creature, a twisted prank born from his own boredom and thrill-seeking. His words, laced with a mix of regret and disbelief, paint a picture of a joke gone too far. In a mixture of anger and disbelief, Noah, Matt, and Joshua confront the prank. "Your joke could have cost us our lives," Noah exclaims, his voice heavy with accusation. The man's face falls, the gravity of his actions becoming painfully clear as he is faced with the consequences of his reckless game. As they search the hut, they uncover a stash of green suits and masks, each a chilling replica of the creature that haunted them. The three friends huddle together, discussing their next steps. "We can't just let him go," Matt insists, a sentiment echoed by the others. Using the last bars of signal on their phone, they contact the authorities. Explaining the situation proves challenging their story sounds like something out of a bizarre tale. Red and blue lights pierce the darkness of the forest as the authorities arrive. Luxury relief washes over the trio as they lead the officers to the prankster. He is taken into custody, a look of remorse etched onto his face. For Noah, Matt, and Joshua, it's the end of a surreal ordeal, one that they will not soon forget.